Hi guys! I have a lot of fun stuff to talk about this week because I had a pretty cool doctor's appointment yesterday. So I'm just going to jump right into that because I want to make sure that I talk about everything. I am 36 weeks pregnant today, and 36 weeks is it's always crazy every week that goes by, but 36 weeks, it just sounds like I am getting so close, and I am getting so close. I have one more week until I'm considered full term. Anyway, 36 weeks, crazy. Yesterday I had my 36-week OB appointment. I was technically 35 weeks and 6 days, but it was called my 36-week appointment. And the reason why this appointment was special was because I had an ultrasound, an NST, and an OB appointment. So I had all three things in one day, and that is because I'm a type 1 diabetic, and my OB wanted to make sure that the baby was growing appropriately. So one of the complications that can happen if you're diabetic is that you can have a very large baby at birth. So she wanted to do a 36-week ultrasound to check the growth of the baby, and then also to check my placenta to see the health of the placenta, because that's another complication, is your placenta can start to fail if you have high blood sugars during pregnancy. So I have been so excited about this ultrasound for weeks, and ever since I had it scheduled, it's been on my mind, and I just couldn't wait to see the baby again. So I'll talk about that first because the ultrasound was the first thing that we did. We went in there, my husband and I, and the 36-week ultrasound is pretty different than my anatomy scan at 21 weeks because the baby is so large at this point that it's actually pretty hard to get a great picture. And the tech even told me we may not be able to get a good face shot depending on the position of the baby, and because they're so large at this point compared to what they are at 20 weeks gestation, it's hard to get like a complete picture of the baby's body. You really only get snippets. So you can see like the face or the hand or just certain parts that you're looking at because the baby's so large. You can't zoom out and see the whole thing at once. Well, when I went in for my ultrasound, the baby happened to be incredibly active. I mean, she was like dancing disco in there. I mean, seriously, like poking out of my stomach. The ultrasound tech was even laughing because every time she'd put the thing on my belly, the baby would like push back at it, and she was laughing and got a real kick out of it because the baby was just moving around so much. And luckily, we did get a face shot of the baby. We got a couple of really good 3D images of it. That being said, it was hard to get a really clear shot, and the imaging technology definitely distorted certain things, but still, any image of my baby that I can see was great. So here's some of the things that we found out from that ultrasound. First of all, we verified that it is still a girl. That was one of my fears going in, just like a silly thing to be worried about, I know, but I have been planning for a girl, and I've got all these pink clothes, and there was just a part of me that was like, what if they got it wrong on the first ultrasound, and what if we go in and they find out it's actually a boy? So we verified that it's a girl. The second thing I was really curious about is whether or not she's got hair, and we were able to see that she has hair. Now, the tech explained you can't know how much, but you can see that there is some. So that's cool. She's got hair. And her face looks like a freaking baby. Like she's got cute little fat cheeks, and I was just in awe of her mouth. Like her lips, had this cutest little pucker, and just really sweet and defined lips. At one point she was sucking on her hand, it was really adorable. I'll go ahead and insert ultrasound pictures into this right now so you can see what I'm talking about. And yeah, so it was really cool just to be able to see her even in that limited capacity. So other important things that we found out at that ultrasound were about things like her size and my amniotic fluid and my placenta. So first of all, her size. Now remember, this is the thing that the doctor was concerned about, wanted to make sure that the baby was growing at the right rate and not getting too big. So what we determined from the ultrasound, and of course keep in mind that later ultrasounds are less and less accurate, so they can only predict things within a certain margin of error, so they could be off either way. But based on the measurements that they got yesterday, the baby weighs 5 pounds 13 ounces, which puts her in the 35th percentile for weight, which is awesome. So when my doctor saw that, she was thrilled. She said, "This is great. Obviously, it means the baby's not too big." And as far as, you know, baby's size goes, 35th percentile is well in the range of normal. So maybe she's a little actually on the smaller side, but not too small. You know, there was no concern there. So that was really good news. And the other thing that we found out is that my placenta looks great, which is that was the other concern that the doctor had. I wanted to make sure that my placenta was still functioning and bringing the baby all of the oxygen and nutrients that it needs to survive in there. So my placenta looked really good. And then lastly, the amniotic fluid. So they measure different quadrants of your uterus and then work out the amount of fluid you have in there. And again, it's an estimate, but based on that estimate, amniotic fluid level looked perfect. So, to make a long story short, everything that they were looking for on that ultrasound turned out great. Like, they didn't find anything of concern. The baby is doing exactly what she needs to be doing, is the right size. And yeah, I was so relieved to hear all of those things. And honestly, I was relieved to verify that it was still a girl as well. So yeah, it was just overall, it was a really positive experience, and getting to see her face was really an awesome experience. So yeah, after the ultrasound, I had an NST. The NST also turned out fine. Those, again, it's kind of protocol. When you have diabetes, you have a certain number of NSTs every week, starting at a certain point in your pregnancy. So that one was just my weekly NST, which I would have had anyway. And then after the NST, I had my OB appointment. So at this OB appointment, for the 36-week point, that's when they do the Group B strep test. So, and it actually wasn't as bad as I was anticipating. I thought it would be like really awful because they have to swab you to see if you're Group B strep positive. And I think 1 in 4 women are. It's a harmless bacteria that some people have, some people don't, and it's usually harmless to you. It's not a sexually transmitted disease or anything like that. It's just a thing that some of us have and some of us don't, but it can be harmful to babies if they're born to a mother who has that, and so that's why they check. And I don't have the results yet back from that, but if I am Group B strep positive, what that would mean is intravenous antibiotics during labor. So that's it. That's the only change that has to be made. If I have that, then I would get antibiotics before the baby's born, and then that takes care of any possible complications. So besides that, she also checked me. She did an internal check. I mean, why not? She was already there. She did the Group B strep thing. And what she found from doing a cervical check is that there hasn't really been any change at all. So I'm not effaced and I'm not dilated at all, which it's not surprising. I didn't think I was, because I haven't been having a ton of contractions, or really hardly any at all. The most I can say about contractions is every once in a while, like 1 or 2 every other day, I'll feel a totally painless tightening of my uterus, and then after 30-45 seconds, it goes away. That's the most I've experienced, and I've hardly had any contractions, so I wasn't surprised at that. And I also know that cervical checks, like how dilated you are before you go into labor, isn't a great indicator about when you'll go into labor. Some women can be 3 centimeters dilated for weeks before they actually go into labor, and they can even deliver past their due date. And then other people can be completely undilated at all when they go into labor. So I wasn't too discouraged by that. But, you know, I was kind of hoping that my body would have started doing something. So to find out, like, nothing, no change. Okay, I know I'm not going to freak out about it, but it was a little disappointing. So yeah, besides that, my doctor, again, she referred to me as an anomaly. She said, like, for a type 1 diabetic patient, she's just so thrilled that so far I don't appear to have any complications brought on by the diabetes. And so, yeah, we both feel really good about how things are going, and I left that appointment feeling really encouraged, and obviously it's an amazing feeling to get to see your baby through ultrasound, so that was a real high for me as well. Alright, so I basically am just going to end this pregnancy update with my weekly belly shot. So this is my 36-week belly. Alright guys, that's it for this week. 36 weeks means that I'm getting really close to the end, so I actually don't have a ton of pregnancy updates left. Perhaps only 3 more. It could be. So yeah, thank you guys as always for watching. I recently just passed the 200 subscribers mark, which is amazing, and thank you guys for being so supportive of my videos. I just really wanted to be able to reach out to other pregnant women and other diabetic women, and I feel like I have met so many of you, so this has been a really awesome experience for me. I hope you guys have had a great week. We'll have a great coming week, and I will see you all for my 37-week update. Bye!